Oh. Can you all hear me? Everybody? Yeah, good. Okay, just by way of introduction, there will be a few numbers in here, but not too many. There are some names, there are place names like Inverness. Nicola Sturgeon, who's the First Minister, pops up at one point, and I make reference at one point to the Old Enemy, which is a kind of fun-poking euphemism for England, for those of you who don't know. So, yeah, let's get started. This speech is quite well timed, actually. It follows on quite well, I think, from Lara's speech a few minutes ago. I'm also aware that it's lunchtime, so I'll try not to keep you for too long. You've all heard me speaking by now, so you can't have failed to notice the accent. Obviously, I'm from Scotland, I live in Scotland, and living there and spending time down here allows me to see and compare a little bit the bones of contention between the Scottish Government and the UK Government. Other than Brexit, which is obviously a bit of a hot topic just now, another surprisingly big bone of contention between the two is energy policy, and these differences are what I'm going to go into a little bit just now. I'll start by telling you that a year ago, the world's first and so far only large-scale tidal energy farm was opened up in Scotland. It's off the coast of Inverness in the northeast. This large-scale tidal energy plant comprises 4 floating wind turbines out into the sea, each of which weighs about 200 tonnes. They're 15 metres high, 16 metres in diameter. Each of them produces 1.5 megawatts, if I've understood properly, of power, which is enough to power all the homes in the Highland region. What is striking in particular about this offshore tidal energy plant is that it's actually been built on the site of a former oil and gas field. So I think this shows quite a big step forward being made towards renewables and away from fossil fuels, which for so long were the lifeblood of the economy in the northeast. This also highlights, I think, quite well a difference of approach between the two governments that we have in Scotland and their way of their energy policies more generally. In Scotland, the target set by the Scottish Government is to have 50% of our energy produced by renewables by 2020, which is a fairly ambitious target. It's in line with some other big-ish European countries. I think Germany, Finland have similar goals. Scotland is currently ahead of target to meet this goal in 2020. The Scottish Government has also set itself the target to cut emissions by 45% compared to 1990 levels by the same date, by 2020, but we've actually reached this target already in 2014, so we're 6 years ahead of schedule in doing this. Comparing this with the UK government's approach, the overall UK government's approach, their 2020 target is for 15% of their energy to be produced by renewables rather than 50, which is obviously a far smaller figure. And so far the UK is actually behind target on doing this. If I were Nicola Sturgeon, it would be quite easy to rest on my laurels, think that you've done everything you have to so far, and kind of bask in a gratified smugness that we've beaten the people down south, so what else do we need to do? We're ahead of them, so that's fine. But I think this would be myopic, and I certainly hope this isn't the approach that they're going to take. Obviously, helping the UK reach its renewable energy targets helps Scotland, it helps the world, it helps everybody, and a game of political football and one-upmanship here isn't the right approach to take, I don't think. I would hope that the governments can share best practice and Scotland can lead the UK and other people, other countries instead, to boost their own energy production and to cut greenhouse gas emissions in particular, because we all know now that the clock is ticking, we don't have much time, and cooperation is the only way forward. Cooperation is the only way forward, and it's the only way any of us are ever going to start to reverse the effects of climate change, if indeed we still can. Thank you.